Hi everybody, I'm Jeff with Virginia Paranormal Investigations, and tonight we're doing a return investigation at Patriots Pub in Fairfax, Virginia. And this is a pub that's been haunted for several years. They've had a lot of experiences here, and we're going to talk to some of the staff and hear about some of the experiences that they've had with the activity here in the bar.
So last year during my birthday party we had it here. I had a bunch of friends come in. Both my friend and myself had Bud Light beer bottles that actually flew off the side of the table by themselves because the tables were repositioned for the party. And we both looked at each other the second time it happened to see if it was her bumping it or I bumped it, and nobody was nowhere near it, and it just straight on the ground.
So this is the same place where we set this glass.
Yes.
Just to see if it happens again.
So we've noticed that when the tables here are rearranged, we have a better chance of something happening, like glasses falling off or chairs scooting themselves back in mysteriously. So we're just going to move things back into an unusual position to see if something will happen.
All right.
It's funny that you said chairs scooting themselves in, because that chair moved itself in the other week that you were here.
With no one around it or anything?
I saw it. I was the only one that had seen it, and it was just like a quick to the table.
And bear in mind there is a carpet on the floors here, and these chairs do not slide easily, so that's quite a feat. Take a lot of energy to move a chair. So
tonight I had a party that was actually sitting here. One of the tables was up against the wall. I had the same lady being spilt on the entire night, and no matter where she moved, it seemed to kind of follow her as far as like these two chairs. So I also put a glass in the middle of the table here where her drink is, just to see if it'll happen again.
And this was once again after the tables were rearranged?
Yes.
So Moni's going to put a thermometer over next to one of the glasses. These glasses have been known to slip off the tables all the time. They usually have water in them when they fall off the table, and they usually soak one of the patrons that's here. We have one of our little full spectrum cameras here, and it is set to record both of these glasses. This one on the closer table. Yep. And the one on the far table over there. And you'll notice some of these tables are rearranged in kind of a linear pattern. They believe that whenever they are arranged like that, it tends to make the glasses go off the table even more.
Can you tell us who moves the glasses off these tables? Can you try to move that glass for us?
Leave.
Say leave, or
I thought it said leave, yeah.
if you want us to leave, can you say leave again? That's what you said?
Can you tell us why you knocked the glasses down?
That was smart.
From about 3 months ago-ish, I was standing here, just came into the bar. There was a lot of people here, so I was kind of stuck in the doorway. And I thought somebody was patting me to get by, but they patted me with like a left hand on the shoulder while I was just standing here, and I moved off to the corner. And I looked behind me and there was nobody, and the doors didn't open. And probably 2 weeks prior to that incident, I ended up having seen a silhouetted woman walk through here, right where we're standing.
It's kind of like The EMF levels, I mean, they're kind of like, you know, in the yellow area all throughout, but it's kind of like that line right across where the last brick areas. It's like all through there. It's like spikes all the way to like here, like high enough so that you know it's flashing red. But all throughout the rest, it's like consistent. It's like right in the middle.
I wonder if you put it up against or up close. See that outlet that's up there?
Which one? Oh, that one right there?
Yeah, I wonder if it would.
It's probably coming. It is probably.
It could come in from. Yeah, could be that some electrical work. Though it's not doing anything there, is it?
No, it's not doing anything there. That's pretty interesting. It's like, look, see, it goes. That's kind of weird. Because it was literally.
Now it's not beeping, is it?
Yeah, it was literally just doing it.
Huh.
That's kind of weird. Now it makes me look crazy, but it literally.
I saw it
just-
beeping.
yeah,
That's why I
it was
came
like
over
that.
to you.
And then, because it was actually beeping all throughout here. All throughout here. All
And
the way
now
until I
nothing.
got to like right there. Like right where this chair was and it stopped. And
Oh.
see, it did beep once.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if it has to do with maybe this TV in the box up there.
It could, but that would have to be putting off a lot of electromagnetic
Yeah.
field, you know?
Shove it up there and see if it's.
Yeah.
No.
No, nothing.
The TV I figured wouldn't be it. These pot lights or recessed lighting, as they call them, they usually put off a lot when they're on, but of course they're not
Yeah,
really.
they're off.
So you know, well, it's still kind of interesting because there's really not a whole lot else over here.
That is interesting.
So we were doing a flashlight test, and we ended up moving it from the main bar into the kitchen. And as I was about here, Bridget was standing over here along with a couple other people that were here. And I ended up seeing like a shadowy figure appear for like a split second at my register. And I also got chills right before I had seen it.
So when I were closing, and Charles, our bouncer, went walking past back here, and one of those boxes from up there, as he turned the corner, threw itself at him.
So it didn't just
Like,
fall off the shelf.
No,
it
it launched, like launched at him.
Jeez. Those are probably pretty heavy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate to be hit by one of those
and they're
things.
stable. They're not just like.
Right.
Right. What's in the
It was
boxes?
one of the ones from. It was actually one of these ones.
Oh, okay.
Like one of these, like launched itself towards.
From that shelf up there?
Yeah. It's coffee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So about last August, I was walking this way near the end of the night, and as I walked by right here, one of these salt shakers flew off the shelf, and it didn't just fall off, but it flew off in front of my face, you know, and then fell to the ground. That was while we still had people in the bar, but it was getting pretty close to 2.
So I definitely want to put one of the action cameras here on this counter, maybe pointing in this direction where it can catch anything that might move on the shelves. I think that would probably be a good thing. We have another one back in the dining area where they have the glasses that slide off the tables all the time. So we've got one sitting there to catch any action that might happen up there.
So usually it's late night when I'm sitting in there. We're closing out. It's 2 to 3 in the morning. We see people walking back and forth in the kitchen. And it's weird because there's nobody back here.
There it is. Look at that. And then if you go like all the way back through here, I don't know, it's probably not bad, you know, putting off all that. But if you go like all the way back to like this area, there was one part, I don't know if it's gonna do it anymore, but there was one where it was shooting off past the red. And I've never
Wow.
seen it do that. And Linda saw it shoot past the red.
Right.
But all throughout here, all out here, back there, through here, all spikes. All spikes. But up where the majority, you know, where the people eat at, it's not as high. It's kind of like low to moderate, but still in like the yellow range. So like still not low, but not enough to, you know, like elicit a spike on the meter.
Right.
And keep in mind too that this is the area where the salt shaker flew off. So it is entirely possible that the entity could be feeding off these very high levels of EMF.
And that's why it's knocking down the boxes.
That's why it's knocking it off, exactly.
As well as the shadow, that the figure that they saw back here,
Because
and they
it's
saw a
all in the
shadow.
back.
Right.
And the EMF levels are highest back here, not over there.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And that makes sense. And also that
Yep.
register there where she saw the figure
Exactly.
was
Yep.
right kind of in the middle of the field. So that would definitely
Exactly.
be like an all-you-can-eat buffet back here for spirits.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and there's food back here too, so you know. Exactly.
But there is salt, so that's kind of dangerous for them. We'd like to know who knocks the stuff off the shelves back here. Can you tell us who threw the salt? Can you maybe try to knock something off the shelf now?
Yeah.
Didn't understand that.
Do you like it better back here because there's more energy for you to feed off of? Maybe you don't like all the guests that are outside, and that's why you stay back here mainly.
The place will be closed.
So,
Some like packet or something. If you have some message to get across, you need to try to tell us now. We're going to be leaving soon.
About early November of last year, Kim and I went up on the rooftop to go into a sort of a maintenance area, you know, like a crawl space up there to explore this area, which I had gone in the previous summer with two of the other employees here, and on that occasion, those two employees were of the opinion that you know, there's definitely something going on up there, some sort of entity, and though we didn't see anything, you know, or have any kind of you know, evidence of that. It was just their intuition. And the way that place is set up, it's like you go into the crawl space on the left. There's one long, narrow passage, and then on the right, there's a much wider passage. So when Kim and I went up there, we went to the left one first, and once we got to the end, we felt that there was this sort of breeze, which was odd because, of course, it's entirely enclosed. So, you know, my first reaction was that there had to be a crack in the wood or something up there. But to see, you know, I put my finger out, you know, like doping the breeze, and there was no breeze. It was completely calm, so the breeze was very temporary, and after that...
We also had like jackets on as well, so
Right,
it was just full on. We could feel it like through the hair and everything. And then after that...
Well, your hand
Yes.
started...
After that, one of my hands got really warm, and I have bad circulation, so they're usually cold all the time. But I even had Tristan hold my hand, and I was like, one hand is warm, and then the other one was freezing. And he was like, that's really weird. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely a marked difference in temperature.
There was. And after that, we decided to explore the other half. And when we got to the other half, Tristan went first, as per the first section, and then the last part of it, we walked all the way to the back of the larger space. And as we were walking through, we kind of felt like the air just change. And then, for whatever reason, I decided to play a song while we were up there. It was the High Kings Parting Glass. And when I started playing that, once it got to the chorus of the song, I felt something grab my leg in between the calf and my foot. And it was a full-on, like, huge hand that just gripped around my leg. And Tristan had to actually help me get out of there because I was like, it's time to go.
Yeah, I grabbed her and was pulling her, to try to get her to move. And it really did seem like there was something rooted, it's like Kim's not that big. Like, if I was pulling on Kim,
5'4".
she'd move. But there really did seem to be something stopping that leg moving, like she just wouldn't budge, It's like it's plenty of grown men I've dragged out of this bar, It's not like I don't know how it feels to be moving somebody, and she's she's just completely rooted into the spot, which
And I
was,
had to keep
needless to
telling it
say,
to
very
let-
strange.
I had to keep telling it to let go. And it slowly was to the point that he could help me, but I was dragging my leg. Sorry. I was dragging my leg with him until we got to where we had to crawl out of. And I was like, all right, I'm done. Over. Like, it was extremely creepy.
Last Friday night, I guess early Saturday morning really, I was talking to someone where you're standing now. I was standing here, and I turned around for a moment, and an orb, big one, like maybe that big, very bright white, came flying out of the glass, maybe 12 to 18 inches out, at kind of an upward curve, and then disappeared.
All right, so we're sitting back here and we're going to start up the spirit box to do a spirit box session and see if we can get any responses through it. Providing the equipment works right.
It is.
This battery died out of nowhere. I mean, it was still half full, and when we brought the camera over here, it just completely drained. But I'm Jeff.
Linda.
I'm David.
Maureen. Bridget.
And we don't mean to impose by any means. We don't mean to be here unwanted. We just want to know that if there is anybody here with us, we'd like to know who it is. Could you please tell us your name? What are you doing, Moni? What is this?
Mooney's stealing cars. You weren't here for the whole dealing
I
cards
missed
thing.
that. I missed
Yeah.
that part, definitely.
We decided that would be.
Michael.
I think it sound like Michael. Yeah, absolutely.
We decided that would be a good, like a trigger thing.
Well, it seems to be working. Because it was kind of quiet until Moni started dealing.
So can you tell us who Michael is?
Can you tell us how long you've been here?
This is the last night this bar is going to be open. How do you feel about that? Last night, just stretch your legs.
So we'd like to know who knocks the glasses off the table. Do you not like the tables being rearranged?
Well, maybe.
It's something like either you're welcome or welcome.
So what's the game here, Lonnie? Go fish? Old maid? That's about all I know.
Poker?
Alright, I got 2 matches here. I think if it's poker, I might have just won. Is this a good hand?
Is this a good hand?
Three.
You gotta Google it.
So would a
You would need another
a
8.
10, jack, queen, and a king win?
Well, a straight beats a
Yeah.
pair. A straight beats a pair.
All right. Let's go again.
Yeah, straight does, yes. All right. Well, I didn't shuffle these very well. This must be a new deck.
What's straight? What is that?
2, 3, 4,
That's
5,
like
6,
2,
7.
3, 4. Yeah.
I have 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, that's you can use these.
Ace is wild.
Yes. Sure, let's do it. You won.
I don't know shit. Yeah.
That was deep.
That sounded slightly angry.
That did sound angry.
Who won?
Sounds something very deep and very rough.
David should check his cards.
Give me. Here.
Am I?
Yeah, you gotta look at my
I'll
cards.
check David's card to see who won.
Yeah, play my hand for me. I don't know how to play it.
It's actually scanning through regular radio stations, and it'll take bits and pieces. You'll hear bits and pieces of each one come through there. Now it's actually quiet for being here in Fairfax, because you would think it would be picking up on a lot more radio stations than it actually is. And then, like, that voice that came through was kind of creepy too, because that's not, something typical. We've had this thing cuss at us before, which, of course, is not allowed on the FCC, so something's talking through it. But you kind of have to listen and pick through and decide what might relate to the questions that you're asking, to the situation that you're in, to be able to differentiate between what's being spoken from a spirit and what's being spoken from just normal radio chatter. So yeah, sometimes we hear that. It's like in the middle of somebody talking, it'll say something. Yeah.
What does Michael like to play?
Yeah, perhaps you could tell us your favorite card game.
Is that thing worth anything?
It is.
Is it?
Yeah,
It just doesn't like me.
just for the record, for the video here, what happened when you were recording with this?
So, it said insufficient recording was stopped due to insufficient memory card write speed or something. That's what it said, and I've never seen that before. And then that was the second time. The first time the battery died, or it said the battery couldn't record or something. So that was like 2 times, but now it's working perfectly fine for Jeff. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a tech guru. I don't know. But I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't.
What do you take one, or, what do we do now?
Well, I have too many different games going on in my head. That's why I can never remember one.
And none of them involve cards.
What you can put down, like you can put down a certain number of cards and say, hit me. You get that number of cards back off the top of the deck.
Matt would know this, right?
Did it say 2?
So we should play poker.
Isn't that where you get 21? Is that where you get 21?
That's blackjack.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, that's the only game I know how to play.
Here, let's do it. Let's play blackjack. I'll show you.
I was going to say, I think you can sit down up to 3.
I've been like...
Face
I
cards
got
are
this.
10,
8
right?
fingers.
Aces or 11s or 1, something like that.
Yeah,
Alright, Michael.
that's right.
We're playing blackjack. So, this is your last night to play with us. Are you going to come out and play? You won't be able to play anymore. You're going to tear it all down.
Yeah,
I'll give
nobody
you
wants
one.
to play.
Yeah.
Ask to hit or stay. I want to play. Came a long way.
Yeah, you gotta tell us what you want to do here. With the cards. You want to hit it.
And you know something? Recording was stopped due to insufficient. No. Are you recording over here?
So
I
you
swear
hand
to
it
you, it
back over
said
to
it.
him.
I'm dead serious.
You got an attachment, man.
I might. I mean,
Something's
serious.
thrilling with it when you
Have fun.
it.
I mean, I live a boring life, so have fun bothering me.
I don't know.
Did you hear like a
Alright,
thing?
so I'm gonna hit.
was.
He said hit. I'm gonna hit.
He definitely said hit.
Alright, I'm hitting. That's 9 or 19. So we have 14.
I'll take a hit over here too. Or do you go in a
Well,
circle or something like
You
that?
can stay or can hit. Michael can stay or can hit.
Oh, that's this card.
I mean, he should have stayed. I don't know why I said hit, but I did what he wanted. Alright, stay or hit over here. I'll come back.
So you got to tell us what you want to do with your cards. If you want to stay or hit?
21.
Can you tell us?
20.
Or did it say
Did
1?
it say 21?
No, it's a 20.
Or 1?
20.
Because you said
You have
a
21.
Yeah.
And then I thought it sounded like 1.
When
It
is
said
21?
something before.
So what about you? Do you want to hit or do you want to stay?
I'm 14. Nice.
What happened? I thought I won.
You got 21, so you get 1.5 chips on that.
Oh, okay.
Everybody else gets their chips.
Go to.
What did it say? Go to what? Go to...
Might have said hold. A little too late though.
Are you in money? What is that?
Nicole or Nickel?
It's kind of
Oh,
weird
like
because Nicole just texted me.
What?
It's kind of weird.
Wow.
Yeah, she just texted me. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think something is looking
You
That's
got
over
that
weird.
attachment, man. It's
Yeah.
turning off the
Yeah,
camera and it's monitoring electronics is what it's doing.
Yeah, it's just like the government. It's Big Brother. That's what that is.
So, some interesting stuff that happened here tonight, and one of the things that I hope we caught it on video. If not, we definitely should have the audio to it, barring any errors with the audio recorder, of course. But we actually tried, and it was Moni's idea for the first time, we tried putting out playing cards, and actually playing a game of cards, dealing a hand to the potential spirit, and then asking if the spirit wanted a hit or to hold. And from what we heard, we have to review the audio, it sounded like the word hit definitely came through. And that was one of the very interesting things that happened here. Some things with the electronics. Every time David had the camera, it would come up with some kind of error. The first time, the battery died. It was half full still, and it just completely cut off, completely died. And then the next 2 times, it came up with a card error. The rest of the time I held the camera, no problems. It was fine. And then just as we were packing up, something weird happened with Moni's phone where it powered up into a weird screen that she had never seen before. So some interesting stuff with the electronics. Can you think of anything else that you would like to note, perhaps?
Just the fact that there, we don't put a lot of stock in orbs, but there did seem to be an abundance of them tonight. And while we were videoing the place, it was orbs that were moving around, and they would stop and they would go the other direction. I'm sure that, at some point you might be able to see one of these on the video, because it was happening quite often, and I was really surprised. And one of the stories was orbs that were flying around that would move different directions, and even move through the front glass windows to the outside. So interesting orb activity here, definitely.
So now it's time to go through the pictures, the video, and the audio and see if we picked anything up that we might have missed during the initial course of the investigation.